Okay, so what animals have we seen?
Squirrel.
Uh-huh.
A rabbit.
A rabbit.
And a crow.
And a crow. What did you name the squirrel?
Cookie.
Cookie. And did we name the rabbit?
No.
No? You want to name it?
Yeah.
Okay, what's his name?
Candy cane.
Candy Cane the rabbit. Okay. And what's the crow's name?
Hey, Cookies.
Oh, that's also Cookies?
Yeah.
Or is that the same squirrel?
That's the same story. See, I'm pretty sneaky.
Okay, what's the crow's name?
Rose.
Rose?
Yeah.
Rose
No,
the crows.
not Rose. Rose.
Oh, like the street? Like roads?
Yeah.
Okay, Rhodes the crows. We'll let that go. That works.
I wanted to make it rhyme.
You wanted to make it rhyme? That was a good rhyme.
Keep it simple, keep it sweet is a line I heard somewhere. And feel the ground under your feet. It can take you anywhere.
I made an agreement with my wife that I wouldn't set an alarm on the weekends anymore. I used to set it for whatever I was doing during the week. It would be the same, and I'd get up and I'd do my things. And I didn't set my alarm for the weekend. And I got up at 6 o'clock yesterday, and I got up at 6:30 today without the alarm. So excuse me, I actually have built in the weekends allowing for 7:30 and then a walk after 7:30 versus the 6:30 or 6 o'clock that I had been aiming for before. So it's fun. I got up today. weepc, as you just saw, when I got up to go for a walk, she woke up and was like, I want to go with you. So we did our walk this morning. So it was a little bit slower than normal, which is totally fine. And we had good chats, and we saw a bunch of animals. Couple of things. So my week next week is going to change. I'm not going to try to do 6 o'clock. At least I'm not going to try to walk at 6 o'clock. So walking at 6 o'clock yesterday was uncomfortable. I don't. If the purpose of it is to get sunlight in my eyes, then that's not going to happen. There's just no light out, and I have to figure out what that does for different seasons, because I think it's not light out till after 7. I think when we get into winter. So I'll have to figure that out to keep that as the purpose. But so 6:30 is going to be my target for the summer and going into fall, and we'll adjust as that goes, which is good because that means I get a little bit more time to do other things. 1, 2. I'm not. I only lost 2 pounds this week, and it feels frustrating because I did the walks, the movement, the things, and this is a trap I fall into. I feel like my body feels stressed. Wahuja was talking about this in stream yesterday. Little things that create stress and cause stress, like your house not being, or your room not being picked up, or whatever it is. So for me, I learned this when I was taking psychology courses. I did not finish psychology courses. But they talked about how every little change creates stress on your body. And even something as small as deciding to change your diet, it puts stress on your body and also stress on your mental, because your body's changing and you should be feeling those things and recognizing those things. So for me, not eating until 11 or after 11 is a massive change on my body. And I feel like the moment that I feel hungry, I want to eat, and I'm doing things to delay that. So that's being impactful. I'm eating less. My calorie intake has gone down, not unhealthily so, but it has gone down. And the lack of results, which is the trap that I fall into, is frustrating. So I also know, so the things I do know, which is why I won't fall fully into the trap, is I'm only walking. I want to run. I want to run even more than just a mile. So I know that there's more output that's coming, and I'm also setting up my meals so that I can get something even healthier. We're gonna get kind of pre-made salads or something that I can eat for lunch when it's time for me to eat versus me finding something randomly at work. We have a cafe area, but the food isn't always the healthiest and type of thing. So figuring that out. So the trap I fall into is I'm like, well, I want to push this. I want to keep going. I want more. I want to see the results. And I'm not ready to start running. I don't think that that's something that I can physically do at 240, not in the way that I do it. Fun fact, the last time that I ran, I did, it was like only like a quarter mile or a half a mile, but I ran as hard as I could. I wanted to get through the run and power through. So I used to run. I was a runner back in high school. I played ultimate frisbee, and part of my weekly routine was running 7 miles a day outside of all the other things that we were doing. So running distance is not something that I don't enjoy, right? I enjoy it. And so the last time I did this, I ran it, and I ran as hard as I could, and I got an exertion headache, which I had never heard of. So like, I got back, I walked through the door, and as I'm walking through the door and I shut the door, I get this pain, and it was actually right in the top of my head. And it was lightning that was sustained. It was the sharpest, most like fire pain that I had ever had in my head. And I get barometric headaches, I get migraines, I get, you name it. Like I get caffeine headaches. Like I get all these things. This head, like it was excruciating. And I went into the bedroom, I laid down, and it felt like an hour, but I think it was only like a minute or two. And I went and I looked it up. It's called an exertion headache. And I was like, fuck, I'm never running again. Obviously, that was not true, but I like to run. And I know that if I try to do it, I'm going to overdo it. And so I need to slow it down. So I'm trying to avoid my trap in pushing too much and too quickly. And the challenge with that, the only challenge with that is I'm looking for results for the things that I'm doing. So I'm frustrated by 2 pounds, but I also know that I'm not doing an extensive amount to do that. Plus 2 pounds a week is great. That's 4 to 10 pounds a month. And my goal is to get initially under 220, but to get down to 200 again. So there's lots of changes that can come. This is all boring to a lot of you, so I apologize about that. But that's where my week has been. So I feel like sleep-wise, successful week. The only challenge that I have last night, like I got like a 71 sleep score or something like that. And the biggest issue is I got too much REM. My REM percentage was too high, and so my sleep score was down. So I think that's a good problem to have. I don't know how to fix that. I don't think I have any control over it, but I'll look for ways to play with that. So sleep was successful. I'm getting 6 to 7.5 hours of sleep depending on the day, and I don't feel tired when I wake up, which is I think the most important part. The question is it sustainable? And we'll figure that out. And then the walking part has been, because the sleep part's working, which was goal number 1, the walking part has been productive. I've done it every day this week. I started last weekend, and I'm doing my salt water, my raspberry salt water. It's delicious. It actually is. I don't have a problem with it. It's not extremely condensed, so maybe my tone would change if I was only having 16 ounces of water with it. I don't know, but it doesn't taste bad at all. It doesn't taste salty to me. Element, if you want it, LMNT, element, raspberry salt. But the walk with the morning routine has been great, and I feel like my production has been great for just the first week. I also feel like I'm the type of person who can start things and power through it, but I'll keep saying it. It's when stress hits, when real stress hits and something happens, do I keep doing it? Do I take a break and realize that it is easier not to do these things and revert to some thing? But so That's the big question for me is am I going to be able to sustain it? Because I can do it. I can start it. I've never had an issue doing something to try it, to give it a shot. But when push comes to shove, do I revert back to my night owl, super unhealthy, sleeping till 8, 9 a.m. Person? So that's what I'm trying to change, and we'll go from there. So thank you all for hanging out. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.